Hi guys, Mons here. So for today's episode of Ball with Mons, I'm going to be going through Game Week 3 predictions. My predictions for Game Week 3, I'm going to be going through them and see how I got on this weekend. So in this weekend, I went 5-4. Not my best weekend, but I still went 5-4. So the 5 teams I picked to win were Chelsea, Man United, Everton, Palace and Liverpool. The Liverpool one's a bit 50-50 because I said Arsenal would win if they had Saka and Odegaard, but I didn't, and obviously Liverpool won, and I said Liverpool would win if Arsenal didn't have Saka or Odegaard. So those are my 5 picks that actually came true. My other picks that didn't come true were Brentford. I thought Brentford were extremely unlucky. They had a goal disallowed, they had a penalty saved, and they conceded 2 late goals. So obviously Brentford are very unlucky in that sense. Spurs, I heard they got. I looked at some highlights and I also looked at some stats that look like they're absolutely battered by Bournemouth. And the Bournemouth manager is doing a fantastic job. Losing I think 2 or 3 centre halves he lost this season, coming into this season, and he's still doing a fantastic job. So Areola, shout out to him. Areola is a very, very good manager. He's doing very, very well in my opinion. I don't think he's going to be there for very long either. I think one of the big teams either in England or in Europe are going to snap him on pretty soon. Man City, I picked them to win. They lost to Brighton, unfortunately. Forest, I think the most disappointing result of the weekend, but my guy, the West Ham manager, Potter, actually got a victory. So I'm happy he got it. I'm a big fan of Potter in my opinion. I always want him to get a Man United job. I know people think I'm crazy, but I do believe he's a good coach. He's just been unlucky. So obviously Forest lost that game. Forest could be in a spot of bother here, simply because I think. I don't even know how to pronounce their owner's name, Mariakas or whatever his name is. He wants to sack their manager. I don't think he's getting on well with Nuno, their coach. So I believe there could be a bit of friction there. Maybe the dressing room can feel it. Maybe they're not playing their best with the manager anymore. So that was the most disappointing game of the weekend for me in terms of the result. Simply because Forest should be winning that game. They're home. West Ham have had 2 terrible loss, but to be fair to West Ham, they showed great character. And Jared Bowen, when I saw the highlights, he was absolutely amazing in the last half an hour of that game. His character is fantastic. He's Mr. West Ham true and true. It's great to see him still there and also still producing for West Ham this season. Obviously, Leeds and Newcastle ended the draw. I picked Leeds to win both at the end of the draw, so that pick is voided. So in the Chelsea game. Chelsea were very lucky because I heard and I saw highlights of the goal that was disallowed for the Fulham team. I think VAR this season has been an absolute mess. Some of the decisions this year has been an absolute mess. I don't even think VAR is a problem. I think the referees are idiots. The referees, honestly, I know we're humans and humans make mistakes, and we all have different interpretation of everything, of different things. However, like so many mistakes every single week. While you have VAR shouldn't be happening in my opinion. There's video evidence there. How can you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again? It's just not on. I know they apologize to Fulham, but if Fulham end up getting relegated or missing out with Europe by a point, what's gonna happen? The refs don't get punished. The refs are fine. And the managers can't even. Marco Silva came out at the end of the game. He was gonna criticize the ref, but if he did, he would have got suspended. He would have got a fine. The refs aren't. It's like a one-sided thing here in the Premier League. You cannot criticize the ref whatsoever, any manager or player, because you get fined, you get suspended, which I think is completely unacceptable. Because this ref needs to know, if Fulham miss out, if they get relegated by a point or they miss out on Europe by a point, that's a huge financial burden for the club. So I think the refs needs to be punished more. If you make a mistake that big and you apologize, I think you should either be fined or be suspended for 2 or 3 weeks, in my opinion, or maybe demoted. Go ref a League 1 game or a League 2 game or something like that, in my opinion. Obviously, I've been through the Man United game. Good win. Well, I won't say good win, but still a win. I'll take the 3 points. Very happy with the 3 points. We needed the 3 points. Fantastic first half, by the way. Amarin coach brilliant in the first half. Second half, like I said, it was like a basketball game. Everton get a victory. I picked Everton to get a victory. Very impressed with everything when I saw the highlights. Jack Grealish is on fire. I think he got 2 assists as well again this season. This game. And Ndiaye also scored as well. So my prediction for the season was Everton were going to do really well, and Grealish and Ndiaye are going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm still waiting for I think Barry Tiano to kickstart. But I think Beto is doing really well, so it's going to be an interesting battle between Beto and Barry Thieno for the rest of the season. Palace, fantastic. When I watched them, I was very impressed. Picked them to win. Very, very impressed with Palace, honestly. Villa, toothless. They're going forward. They're absolutely clueless. No penetration whatsoever. Like I said, Morgan Rogers looks very disinterested, and Ollie Watkins he just doesn't look himself. I don't know. There's something going on there. They don't look happy, in my opinion. Liverpool, they had a boring win. It's one of the worst games I've seen. Probably the worst game I've watched this season so far. Such a boring game to watch. My guy Keith Andrews, unfortunately, was unlucky. He got goal disallowed. His team missed a penalty as well. But it's a good sign to see their centre forward. I think Iago scored. Iago scored second goal of the season. I think he'll hit about 10 to 15 goals for them this year easily, in my opinion. Spurs losing at home. So happy that Spurs lost. I like Thomas Frank, however, not Spurs. Not the biggest fan of Spurs. Simply because I have friends that support Spurs, and I always try to get one up on them, in my opinion. That's just the way football supporting teams are. Man City needs to take a hard look at himself. Pep, you have to coach your ass off. I predict you're going to come second in the Premier League. I wouldn't be surprised if it came first. That was my prediction. But you're going to have to coach your ass off. That Man City team look very underwhelming. And Rangers needs to step up. He was a marquee signing this summer. He needs to step up big time. That's pretty much all for this episode of All Ball and Buns. Thank you very much if you made it to the end of the video. Make sure to click on the subscribe button. Leave a comment if you like the video, share the video. I do really appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Have a good week. And just a quick thing, it's an international break, so I won't be doing prediction for game week 4 up until after the international break. So I will enjoy the nice little break. Everyone enjoy it too. So thank you very much for making the end of the video. I do appreciate all the support. Have a good week.